Okay, our speaker today is Amy Miller, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to steal your thunder, Lee. Go ahead.
Yeah, appreciate Amy coming forward as a Butler County resident and a Miami graduate. She graduated from Miami and then got her master's at Xavier in community counseling. And she's been in public service for over 23 years. That experience has included children's services, direct line work with children and families in a variety of leadership roles. And she currently works regionally with Butler, Claremont, and Warren counties to help area-wide efforts with employers and job seekers so that all citizens can experience meaningful work, a livable wage in our community, and businesses can prosper. So welcome, Amy.
Thank you very much. I have a presentation that I'd like to go through with all of you, and then I'll take that off the screen and answer any questions you might have. If I can do this seamlessly without any hiccups. All right, can you see that screen with our presentation? Okay. Like I said, we are, let me fix the screen here. Ohio Means Jobs, and Ohio Means Jobs is a program where we are divided as areas. So this workforce area is called Area 12, and it's Butler, Claremont, Warren counties. And it makes a lot of sense for us to operate as an area because your job seekers and your employers aren't always from the same county. And that's how we are delineated. And we work together as one team, trying to provide the same service to the entire area. Although I'm in Butler County in Fairfield, we're located on Route 4. We provide services to both job seekers and employers. Some of our services for job seekers include job postings. We will assist people in finding a job is our ultimate goal. We have a resource room, and that's open to the public every day from 8 to 4. People can come in here for any kind of employment assistance, and that could mean filing for unemployment, which is what I said earlier. We left our doors open during COVID in a safe way so that people who don't have unlimited minutes on their phone or reliable access to internet can still do those applications, make those weekly filings, but also receive help for a job search. Resume assistance, whatever is holding them back from being employed, we're here to help. And there is very experienced person who works in that room all day long, stays up to date on that job knowledge, loves to do resumes with people, will sit and take the time for anyone who walks through our doors to get them on the road to employment. We also offer workshops. Amidst COVID, those are really done one-on-one in our resource room right now. So that could, and I'll go through what the listing is later. We also do hiring events and job fairs. We're looking at online platforms for our larger scale job fairs right now, but we do some hiring events. Any employer is allowed to call us and get scheduled here in our office. And sometimes, they get walk-ins who are coming in here for other services. We say, did you know we have an employer here today? We do that warm handoff introduction, and some people are hired right here on the spot. Just 2 weeks ago, we had a woman come in who had recently been laid off, and she did not want to file for unemployment. She had always worked. She was ready to find a new job. And after looking through the job postings with our resource room person, she said, I can't decide. So he introduced her to the staffing agency who was here, that happened to be here that day. And they bring all the equipment to do their background checks, anything that they need to get to, make sure this person's qualified. And that woman started her new job the next morning at 6 a.m. So it really can happen. You know, people can walk in and walk out with a job. It does happen. We also have funding for training. So we receive WIOA dollars, which is the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act. And that is really, you know, why people seek us out is the primary reason. If they're dislocated, meaning laid off through no fault of their own, or low income, they can qualify to get free training or education. We are limited in that it has to be a 2-year program. So people who haven't finished their bachelor's degrees could qualify if they have less than 2 years left. And it has to be an in-demand career. You know, we can't just fund any program, but there are so many programs that are considered in demand that that's really not a barrier. You may have heard that we fund a lot of people getting their CDL, which has a really big return on investment. You know, we fund someone to do that program, and in 5 weeks, they can be making a considerable wage. So as long as they're suitable for that program and meet eligibility criteria, we will do that. You know, the world can't get enough drivers right now, and we saw that through the COVID pandemic that, you know, there were supply chain issues. So we feel really good about that. And the other industry that we fund quite a bit, although we do have a diverse menu of programs that we fund, the other one that we're kind of known for is nursing, and that's all different levels of nursing. Again, very in-demand career where, you know, anyone who goes through that program is going to be hired. So those are 2 of the examples that we fund. The unique thing about Ohio Means Jobs is we are a network of partner agencies. Under that WIOA law and that language, the whole purpose of Ohio Means Jobs is to take all the different workforce programs and bring them into one so that they are collaborating, braiding funds, not really competing against each other, but working as one, because we all offer our different specialty. And if all these different partner agencies work with job seekers and the WIOA funds are able to fund them into upskill, that living wage, then that's the whole idea and the whole purpose behind what we're supposed to be doing. And then, of course, another way we're able to help job seekers is with networking. So sometimes it's just a matter of introducing them to the right people, letting them know what's out there. One of the big messages, you know, I share right now is there are jobs out there. I realize we're in a terrible economic crisis right now and things look awful, but there are jobs and there are businesses who need people desperately. And one of the big tasks I'm assigned to right now is to figure out, for people who have not been called back to work and do not expect to be called back to work, we need to pivot and find a way for them to discover a new career. And I realize that's a big challenge, because, you know, there's a lot of emotion that goes along with being unemployed and laid off, even if it's no fault of your own. And, you know, a lot of people were just content in their current position. But for example, if you're a bartender right now, you may not be making a living. You may have been called back to work, but you're not getting the hours that you used to have. You're not getting the tips you used to have. You're not being fully seated. So folks like that who need to consider a career change, we can support them. And even upskill and fund under some, you know, if they meet eligibility criteria. So we also work with employers. I like to think of job seekers and employers as a yin and yang relationship. You know, we're not really helping job seekers if we're not helping employers, and we need to be able to create those career pathways and make sure that what we're telling the job seeker is in line with what the employers need. So we do offer recruitment assistance, candidate screening, room reservations. Our building is open for employers. if they need to have meetings or trainings or hiring events. All that can happen here for free. We offer hiring incentives. We can do on-the-job training contracts where we can supplement the employer for hiring someone up to $8,000. We also provide labor market information. So if companies are looking for what the going rate is for a certain position or other information, we have access to that. And we also do outsourcing and outplacement assistance. So we have a team that whenever there is a layoff, they're called the Rapid Response Team, and they will try to reach those soon-to-be dislocated workers before they leave the job and let them know what jobs are available to them so that they can move on to the next place without even having to file for unemployment. Letting them know that there's training that, once they're laid off, they do qualify for reskilling, retraining programs that we can fund, and letting them know what other services are out there. So that's something that we have done. We have seen an increase of those services since COVID. And again, there is no cost for these services. We don't charge employers and we don't charge job seekers. So like I said, this is all under the WIOA program, the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act. We have the on-the-job training, OJTs is what we call them. Reimburse the employer up to $8,000 or up to 6 months for a training period, depending on the occupation. We do contract with the employer and we have an agreement signed before that person would start. And we offer classroom training for skills upgrade to enhance marketability, so long as it's in an in-demand occupation. The workshops we have offered are resume building, interview preparation, computer basics, keyboarding, LinkedIn, Word, Excel, how to do a job search. And we used to do these in a group setting. Now, if anyone needed any of that kind of assistance, we would have them come in and we would work with them one-on-one or virtually. So another tool we offer is ohiomeansjobs.com. And this is a state program, state website. It is robust. I mean, you could spend hours on this thing. They have youth services. They have job search. They have scholarship information. They have all sorts of surveys, tools, and things to find out what you would be interested in. And it's also designed for employers to where they can put job postings up on the site for free, which has been really handy, again, through the pandemic, is that we have this tool that anyone can access from anywhere. You don't have to necessarily go anywhere to get this information. And it's powered by Monster. It's like a legit site. It doesn't have that homemade feel that you sometimes see out of the government products. So some of our partner agencies that are actually in-house when we're not in COVID are OOD, which is the Opportunities for Ohioans with Disabilities. Anyone with a disability, and it doesn't have to be like a per se handicap. I've referred folks to them who were on IEP in college and were having trouble getting that job. They will take that referral and they will work with the person. It doesn't have to be like a major disability for people to get that additional assistance. Our official partner is Butler Tech, and boy, do they have a lot of different programs that they're also in-house and do training, teach some classes for us. We work with Aspire. Typically during a typical year, they're here on site. They offer morning and evening GED classes, as well as an English as a second language class in the evening. And that class is usually more than full. They overfill their classroom and spill into other rooms that we have here. And luckily we have the space to accommodate that. Right now, they're offering those classes online. They do have a plan to return this fall, last I heard. We also have our WIOA Youth program, which is run by Easter Seals. And that focuses on kids or youth age 14 to 24. That's the definition of a youth, 14 to 24. And they will do a summer program, but it's year round. Again, any barrier to employment or education, we will work with that person to overcome that barrier so that we can see them become an effective employee. Another partner is Vantage Aging. Their specialty is those 55 and older, and they provide employment assistance and training. And like I said, ESOL is English as a second language. That's with Aspire. We have veteran services here. People who meet the veteran criteria can receive additional assistance and funding. And we also have Butler County Jobs and Family Services here, who can assist people with SNAP, Medicaid, cash benefits, and daycare assistance. Again, really any barrier that's getting in your way of succeeding, it's my job to figure out how we're going to overcome that barrier and make sure we have some kind of program, funding stream, person in place to help with that. And then we have SELF, which is the support for low-income families. They are actually running in-person classes right now with plexiglass barriers, masks, taking temperatures. And those are work readiness classes. You know, people need to find their motivation, have their interview practice, resume looked at, and then job placement, follow-up, supportive services. And they even offer incentives for people who attend those classes. Folks will get gift cards just for coming. So it's another great program that we offer here. We also work with our Chamber of Commerce, Economic Development departments. You don't have to be an official partner to reserve our spaces or to receive our services or to be part of our network. And again, like I said, we work as a region, as an area. So this is the information for all of our other centers. You know, there are Hamilton County employers who will call on the Butler County Center simply because they're on that border, and they want to pull employees from Fairfield as opposed to the greater Cincinnati area. So it doesn't have to necessarily be within county lines. So let me stop sharing my screen so I can see your faces. And let me know if you have any questions.